right, we're going to talk about perimeter, circumference, and area today. So perimeter, P, of a polygon is the sum of the lengths of its sides. Okay, so we're adding up all the sides. The area, A, of a polygon is the number of square units it encloses. Circumference, C, is the distance around the outside of a circle. It's kind of the perimeter of a circle. So square. So this is our, if we have a square, this is our perimeter. It's 4 times our side. So here's my square here. I'm going to go 4 times S, or S plus S plus S plus S, 4S. My area is S squared. So I have my side squared. So a rectangle, base B and height H. My perimeter is 2B plus 2H, or 2 times the quantity B plus H. And my area is base times height, or BH. Triangle. Triangle of sides A, B is the base, I'm going to say, and C, and height H. So the height is measured perpendicular to a side. So the perimeter is A plus B plus C, and the area is 1/2 base times height. So for a circle, we kind of got messed up there. A circle, radius R and diameter D. So the circumference, or the area around, is pi diameter, or 2 pi r. The area is pi r squared. Okay, so I'll write that here. Area equals pi r squared. Okay, so the pi, the ratio of circumference and distance, radius, so here's our radius. Pi is a constant number. Let's look here. Okay, what is the circumference of the circle in terms of pi? What is the circumference in the circle to the nearest tenth? Okay, so here's my circle here. Okay, my diameter is 15 inches. Okay, so if you remember, my circumference is pi diameter, or 2 pi r. Well, I already have the diameter, so I can just use that. So it says, what is the circumference in terms of pi? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 15 pi inches. There's my first part. So that tells me in terms of pi. Now, for my next one, it says, what is it in terms of the nearest tenth? So now I need to take this value for pi, and you can use your calculator there and plug it in. So 15 pi, I get 47.1239, and I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, so that's 47.1 inches. Okay? So make sure that you round to the correct spot. Okay. Here's one with radius. So now I have a radius of 4. I'll go ahead and erase this. So now, instead of using pi diameter, I have to use circumference equals 2 pi r. So I'm going to plug in my r, so 2 pi times 4. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8, so this becomes 8 pi centimeters. Now, to find my round to the nearest tenth, I'm going to plug that in my calculator. So this gives me approximately 25.1 centimeters. All right, so here's a triangle. So I was fairly, see if they put it up here. So the nice thing here is we're going to look at this problem here. We're going to look at the perimeter of triangle EFG. Okay, so we're going to look here. I'm going to kind of physically count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a 6. I'm going to count up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an 8. Now I need to find this side. Well, this is a right triangle. Hopefully you remember that we can use Pythagorean's theorem. We haven't talked about that in geometry, so I'll kind of show it to you. but if you remember, Pythagorean's theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I'm going to go 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. 36 plus 64 equals c squared. 100 equals c squared, or c equals 10, right? The square root of 100 is 10, so this is 10. Now it says for the perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be 10 plus 8 plus 6, which is going to give me 24 units. Now you might ask yourself, why am I putting units here? Well, because I don't have an actual measurement here, but because we're showing lengths, we technically do. So we're going to use the word units here. Notice before I had used centimeters and inches. Okay. Now the area of a rectangle. So we're going to find the area of a rectangle. So it says the area of a rectangular banner with a width of 2.5 feet and a height of 5 feet. Okay, so if you remember the area of a rectangle, so I'm just going to put the symbol here, is base times height. Okay, so, or width times length, however you want to look at it. So I'm going to plug in here 2.5 times 5. So you can use a calculator. You can do mental math. 2.5 times 5 is 12.5 feet squared. Please make sure that you put in your units here. So it's feet squared. I have feet on the bottom, feet on the side, so I have feet squared. Okay, areas of circles. What is the area of circle K in terms of pi with a diameter of 16 meters? So this is going to be, this length here is 16 meters. So we need the area. So if you remember, area equals pi r squared. Well, this is my diameter, not my radius. So I need to, so this equals diameter. My radius is half of this, so it's 1/2 of 16, or 8 meters. So now I'm going to take that 8 meters, I'm going to plug it in. So I have pi times 8 squared, and it did say leave it in terms of pi. So that means I don't have to multiply by the value of pi at the end. Right? So 8 squared is 64 pi. Now I need to put my units in here. I had 8 meters times 8 meters, so I have meters squared. So there's my area of that circle in terms of pi. If it wanted rounded to the nearest 10th or 100th, I would then multiply out by the value of pi. The area of irregular shapes. Okay, so this is kind of, this is the area addition postulate. So the area of a region is the sum of the areas of its non-overlapping parts. Okay? So now we have this. We want to find the area here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into 2 separate rectangles. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of this top smaller rectangle and then the area of the bottom rectangle. So I'm going to actually break that up. I'm going to physically draw it out here. So now if I take the top rectangle, I know that that is 2 and this is 4. And then I'm going to separate out here so I can kind of find it. So this is 5. I notice that this length right here is 5, but then I have this length is 4. So this whole length is 5 plus 4, or 9. Okay? So I have 2 times 4 is 8, so that's the area here. 9 times 5 is 45. So my area is going to be 8 plus 45, which is 53. 53 what though? So did they give me any type of measurements here? They did not, so I still have to label this though. So I'm going to label it as units squared. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If they don't give you any units, you have to use unit squared. So that's kind of irregular shapes. You're going to break it up into smaller shapes that are easier to find the area of. Joke time. How do you communicate with a fish? You drop it a line. What has no legs but can do a split? A banana. All right, so that's perimeter, circumference, and area.